Imperial Hotel, attended by some of the 100 or so women on the Conservative Party's list of potential parliamentary candidates. It's an annual event organised by Central Office, a chance to swap experiences and seek advice on the best way to be chosen by a constituency. With an unusually large number of Tory MPs retiring at the next election, one might have thought it provided a wonderful opportunity for Conservative women to make a big breakthrough into the House of Commons. But those having breakfast in this room here this morning can't have been a particularly happy bunch. It's true, 8 women have been selected as Tory candidates so far, but all 8 are in constituencies that the party wouldn't even have won at the last election. And of the 29 Conservative constituencies which have so far selected candidates this time, all 29 have gone for men.
I think there might be a flaw in the constituencies somehow, that they're choosing young male candidates. You see, they don't look at as nice, mature women.
I think because the people on the selection committees think we should all be at home looking after our husbands and children.
I certainly don't think that we should be looking for anything like positive discrimination. We'll stand or fall on our merits as candidates, not whether we're women or not.
Speaking to us privately, other women candidates were much more frank about the way constituencies treated them.
They think they're missing out if they have a woman. It's a value for money thing. They want someone to run the tombola, you know, like the vicar's wife.
If you're single, they want to know when you're getting married. If you're married, they want to know when you're having children. And if you're married with children, they want to know who's looking after them.
Melinda Libby is another budding MP whose ambitions so far have been thwarted. A public relations manager in the city, she feels that even city banks these days have adopted a normal attitude towards promoting women. And the Conservative problem's all the more acute, of course, now that Labour is likely to have at least 80 women MPs in the next Parliament, whereas the Tory tally may not go up at all.
I have to say that it's a bit peculiar, in my view, and I just don't think it's good for the Conservative Party. And I really think, and many people I know who might not be Conservative Party activists, but they've voted Conservative in the last few years and they know what my ambitions are. And they too think that it's strange and it makes them concerned about what the party stands for.
Very good. Having fought a hopeless Labour constituency 8 years ago, Mrs Libby now wants a good Tory seat. Of the 7 she's applied for this time round, 6 put her on the shortlist, but each then preferred a man. The process of applying for seats is almost another full-time job, involving the whole family.
I don't think I want you tearing or chewing those because it's not going to impress people very much, but I know you like them.
Her baby daughter Genevieve celebrated her first birthday a few days ago. And the difficulty that often springs up at selection conferences, says Melinda Libby, is how she'd combine being an MP and being a mother.
When they ask the age of my daughter, I therefore have an answer readily prepared, which is that Parliament should be more representative, and 52% of women with children under 5 are now working, and I hope very much that they'll draw their own conclusions to that. But sometimes a logical argument really isn't enough.
Exeter is one of the constituencies where Mrs Libby faced that kind of question. She reached the last 3, but the Tories went instead for a local doctor who's famous for his support of family values.
If you see a young woman with young children who promises that she will be a good Member of Parliament, you know that that means she's going to have to ditch her husband, probably, and leave him in the constituency, if she's going to be a good MP, and effectively orphan her children.
But Dr Rogers adds that once a woman has brought up her family, then the time comes to give her extra priority, since more women are needed in Parliament. But wouldn't what you're saying have disqualified Margaret Thatcher in 1959 when Mark and Carol were only 6 years old?
Don't know, wasn't there, don't know what she said and looked like, and if so, sure, it was a tragedy, or it would have been a tragedy for this country, but on the other hand, you don't know what the effect was on her children. They don't seem particularly happy at the moment.
Adrian Rogers' constituency chairman feels he was chosen largely because he's local rather than because of the women's issue, a question on which she disagrees with him strongly.
As a GP, he probably does see the other effects that it might have on families where mothers go out to work whilst their children are quite young. I can't say I necessarily agree with him in this particular instance, because I do feel that there is a matter of choice there, and if the families make proper arrangements, and I have to say proper arrangements, for their families, then I don't see any great harm in women going out to work whilst their children are very young.
Diana Bess feels the party should do a lot more to help women candidates. But other local party chairmen attending a reception yesterday were rather more relaxed about it. There have been 29 selections in Conservative seats so far, and 29 men.
Yeah, well, maybe they're not good enough, the ones that came forward on those particular selections.
You really think that's the case? You don't think that there may be some bias against women?
I don't think there's any prejudice at all.
Do you think there is a certain reluctance among Conservatives to select women for one reason or another?
I don't think so, no. I think...
Well,
I'm pretty sure that my association will select the person that they think is best to represent them in Parliament.
But at lunchtime today, the Euro MP Graham Mather said the party should adopt a new code of practice for parliamentary selections, since it's clear many excellent women candidates are being passed over.
It seems to me that, especially in the case of women, our structures positively discriminate against the chances of them coming through. So I believe that the work Angela Rumbold has done in urging associations to be more modern in their approach now needs a reinforcing message from John Major, from the Prime Minister himself.
The Prime Minister may not have commented yet, but Gillian Shepherd certainly did today.
Look at the Labour Party. They have women-only shortlists. We elect women on merit.
Mrs. Shepherd's words may not have been much comfort, however, to Melinda Libby and her friends. Mrs. Libby also spoke in today's education debate, which can only have helped her chances of eventually securing a seat. Her next attempt will be in her home constituency in Chelsea, but even if she fails there,